Welcome back to BetVantage Fantasy Sports. We are in week 6 of the NFL, and let's just recap how we have done the last 10 days for those who are my winnable VIP members or those who subscribe to my free plan. We started with 200 bucks. We split it up $100 on Better and $100 on Prize Picks, and our account values currently stand at a total of about $2,000. We were up to about 2,300, and we had kind of a losing week. Unfortunately, Better is cracked down on correlated plays. And if you see my previous videos, we slaughtered college football in week 4. We hit several 20x plays, a 30x play. It was great. We ran to the bank. Um, Since then, they've got rid of it. You can't pair a quarterback on passing yards with a wide receiver for over their receiving yards. So that's no longer a thing, which has made Prize Picks, at least in my opinion, just a little bit more attractive in the fact that you can still do correlated plays. They just change um, a 4-man parlay from 10x. It's now an 8.5x. So you still get your money. You just have to change the way you strategize your betting and manage your bankroll, which I've talked about in other videos in the past. I'm still sticking to $5 as one unit until I can get the Prize Picks count over $1,200. The Better account's over $1,200, so now I've changed that unit size to $10 per each unit. But nevertheless, let's get into it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications because you're not going to miss out on these picks that I drop. So I have 6 favorite props for week 6 of the NFL. And we're going to start with, let's get him pulled up here. BTJ, Brian Thomas Jr., 57.5 yards. So Thomas has been one of the best wide receivers of football this season, and I'm projecting him to exceed this prop line of week 6. He's passed this mark by at least 30 yards in his last 5 games. Now, on the flip side, this is going to be a London game, so hopefully the jet lag doesn't, you know, mess with everybody's heads and sleep schedule over there. But BTJ is going to be in London, and he's playing the Bears, Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears have allowed 4 wide receivers to surpass this mark so far this year. So their secondary is weak. BTJ has been doing killer. You can see in last week, I had him in my fantasy football league too, so I was pretty happy. But 122 receiving yards. So this sitting at 57.5 is just way too low. I could see him at least doing 75 yards in this contest. And let's get to number 2. Some of you guys might not like it. I was really bullish about Tobayer last week, but he is sitting at 45.5 yards. Now, yes, he's hit this in 2 of his last 5 contests. Oh, I'm sorry. Last week we did hit it. I think it was a week before that he didn't. And what did I say last week? Brandon Cooks is out, and I think he's on IR to be official. Without Cooks, Tolbert ran 90% of his routes. He was on the field for 90% of the route, all routes. He had 10 targets. He caught 7 balls for 87 yards and a touchdown. Now this week, he plays the Detroit Lions. Now, Lions just came off a bye week, but they have a secondary that has allowed 2 receivers to beat this line almost every week this season. So there's no reason not to take Tolbert. I can see this value probably getting up closer to 50 and a half later on in the week. I can see him easily doing about 60 plus yards in this contest. Um, Now, for my third prop, again, I had him in one of my fantasy football leagues. Probably going to say that also about just about every person I talk about because I'm in like 11 leagues. It's a problem. Every year I try to like get off of one league or try to step back, and then I have a buddy who comes to me. He's like, "Hey, I'm spinning up a league," and I'm spinning. And the next, I'm like in two more leagues. It's a problem. So DJ Moore. So check it out. 5 receptions. I would prefer to see this at 4.5. But I mean, if we hit 5, that's okay. We push. Um, but check it out. DJ Moore's had five or more receptions in 4 of the 5 last games. So you can see that here. And the Jaguars have allowed 9 receivers to beat this line in their last 5 games alone. Moore he kind of sticks around a 25-27% target share. So if that would be the case in this game, based upon how many completed passes Caleb Williams will throw, he could easily see 6 or 7 receptions. Now, earlier this week, this line was at 5.5 receptions. So it has actually, it started on the 9th. It was at 4.5 receptions. Then it moved to 5.5 receptions, and now it's back down to 5. So keep an eye on it. Snag it when you can. If it does drop back down to 4.5, which I don't think it will, make sure you hop on it while you can. Throw it in there with one of your lineups and parlays. And let's get to next one, and that's going to be Jared Goff. So this line earlier this week was actually at 243.5 passing yards. So 246 isn't much more, but as you can see, the books are favoring him to go over in his passing yards. He's only really beaten this line twice this season. Why am I saying week 6 of the NFL? Holy crap, week 5. Jesus, everybody. I'm always thinking ahead. You could ignore the playoffs there on January 28th, but he's only beaten this line twice this season, but did so last week on only 18 completions, which is pretty outstanding. This matchup with the Cowboys has the highest total of any game this week if you check the Vegas odds at over 52.5 points for the total score between both teams. And Goff's pass attempts are also that they have that set at 33.5. So I'm projecting this to go over by at least 30 yards. I think I'm better. I'm probably going to take one of the picks. I can't remember what it was at. I think it was at 299, but I could see him going for at least 275 yards on 33 attempts this week. It's going to be a pretty good game. I may end up actually doing some live streaming with it while it's on, but we'll get to it. If we do it, we do it. We don't, we don't. Sorry, guys. The schedule's busy. And let's get to the last one. Man, again, going back to fantasy football, I needed a tight end last week, and homeboy came through and got me some points, and that is Tucker Kraft on the Green Bay Packers. So, last week versus the Cardinals, George Kittle had a 38% target share and absolutely smashed his prop line. In week 3 against the Cardinals, Sam Laporta had 36 yards before he got injured. And Brock Wright ended up with 34 yards, replacing him. So if you take those numbers, those two combined for a 32% target share in that game. So Kraft projects pretty well against the Cardinals this week. Musgrave got in a little bit of practice this week, so that's something to keep an eye on. But Kraft has been seeing the majority of the routes at targets, whether Musgrave is active or not. And Kraft's lowest yardage total in the season in his games with Jordan Love was about 37 yards. He has about a 16% target share, and just given the fact that the Cardinals are just getting slaughtered at tight ends this season, I could see this line going over, over 50. I mean, if you look at last week, he did 88. So again, this is just another fantastic prop you got to take advantage of before the lines shift, and they always do. So that is just about all I have. That's the 6 top props for NFL Week 5. If you are new to this channel, I am going to be dropping my picks later today on my Winnable. Basically, if you've never heard of it, I have a link below, and I drop my favorite plays. The second I drop them, these images basically get texted directly to your phone. You can open them up, plug them in, and right now there's just a few seats left for both my plans because I limit how many people are allowed to subscribe to my plan, because once they pick, then you start to notice the value starts shifting on a lot of these player props, higher or lower. So anyways, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me at betvantage@gmail.com. There is still a free trial available, 10 days, using promo code betvantage7. So take advantage of it. You'll get all the picks for basically this week and next if you use that promo code. But that's all I have for you guys today. Good luck this week, and take care.